Hey, Tom Powell here with the Powell Perspective and the Just Ask Dad segment. Candace was asking me today about the 50-year mortgage that's all the hype and my thoughts regarding it. And I've written a blog piece on it, but I'll go back in history just a bit. So in the 80s and 90s, when Japan's inflation rates, especially property inflation rates, were through the roof. At the time, it was actually estimated that one small segment of land in Japan was worth the entire state of California, which is just absolutely ridiculous and out of perspective. The idea was floated for a 100-year mortgage, which meant that your legacy descendants would be signing on to a mortgage before they were even created or born. And it caused a lot of thoughts. And in my own head, what it thought was, how do you do that and just do it through lower interest rates? And that's actually what Japan mostly did, was through lower interest rates, which they lived in an almost zero interest rate environment for almost 2 decades to get that inflation of property under control. Now, again, you have a high density of people on a small piece of property. In the United States, we have a lot of land. It is a very large country. We just have a lot of improper land use scenarios that keep the cost of housing up tremendously higher than it needs to be. But a simple fix, instead of going more than 50 years out, which means somebody's 32 years old, they're going to be 82 when they actually pay it off, is not a good idea. Especially when you can look at it that a 1% reduction in interest rates will be about the equivalent of what that 50-year mortgage would be. So you've got to ask the question, who wins on a 50-year mortgage? Well, the lenders definitely do. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, HUD, the servicers of those loans, if they actually go the 50 years, it's not just about the interest rate. That's actually absorbed by the bond market. It's the additional 50 to 75 basis points or a half of a percent that's paid in servicing every single year by that borrower to that servicer that creates a portfolio. So it's one more way of somewhat creating indentured servants of the people of the United States. Let's look for better alternatives. Let's get the cost of housing down through right pricing of mortgages, right pricing of the entitlements and the abilities to actually construct housing. Let's not just go for a knee-jerk reaction that reduces a mortgage by $200 when we can actually make systemic change that makes a difference in this country. That's Tom Powell. That's Ask Dad. And by the way, that didn't answer the question of should you take out the mortgage? Well, you're probably never going to live for the 50 years because you'll probably move through 5, 6 times of that housing. So it really doesn't change much in the scenario. And if it helps you qualify, then take it for what it is. Have a great day. And remember, you can always just ask Dad.